Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning, good morning, good morning. You guys might have seen me last night. I was on for a few minutes last night, and I had to get up early this morning. As I mentioned to you all, I am super late for the airport, but flying back to Chicago today, and I thought that I would take a second to give a big black round of applause for a brother who did something that was really powerful. This brother named Tyrone Muhammad, and you guys know how much respect I have for the Nation of Islam, and the fact that these are some of the realest men in our community. These are the men that deserve the most respect in our community, in my opinion. Well, Tyrone yesterday, went gangster with this nail salon. There's a nail salon called, I think, Colors Nail Salon on 83rd and Stewart in Southside Chicago. And Colors Nail Salon, the owner, had been accused of disrespecting black women. There was apparently video of this owner of a nail salon who happened to be Asian, who had disrespected a black woman, and Tyrone was having none of it. So Tyrone, politely went and like the brothers from the nation do. They're very polite and respectful most of the time, and but they will let you know that they are serious. These are not. I think the Nation of Islam and Farrakhan and everything in that space, it deserves the utmost respect because we need real men in the community. We just need that, and we have too many wimpy boys, too many black men that want to be children, too many black men that want to be feminized. And Tyrone's not a woman. Tyrone is a full-grown man, and Tyrone went and was very polite with this owner and with the women in the salon. He said, "Ladies, you might want to clear this area because I'm about to put a brick through this window over their treatment of black women." And Tyrone kept his promise. He put, I think it looked like multiple bricks through the window. And at first nobody took him seriously. Everybody was just kind of like, yeah, okay. Nobody moved. And then when he engaged in action, that's when people started to respond. That's when people said, "Whoa, this man's serious." And so, just to tell you, how they say in physics that every action has a reaction and all that stuff. And a lot of times nobody acts in a favorable way toward the black community because we have a lot of people that do a lot of talking but don't actually follow through with any action. Like they're like, "Oh, let's build a school," and then no school ever gets built. Or, "Oh, let's go start a business," and then no business gets started. Or, "Oh, let's go and take down this nail salon for disrespecting black women," and nobody does anything, and nobody respects you. Well, a couple things got my attention when Tyrone engaged in action. The first one was that the women that were sitting there that did not take him seriously, they moved out of the way. They said, "Whoa, wait a minute. He's actually going to do this. He's not just talking." And then the second thing that happened that was really fascinating was the owner actually went and did a video apologizing and begging to stay in business. And he apologized to black women, and he said, "I'm sorry for how I treated you, and I'd like to keep serving you," and all this other stuff. Now, of course, it's up to the individuals in the community to decide if they want to keep going to that nail salon. But I'm sure that there are black women out there that know how to do nails. I'm sure that there are black women who know how to run a business. I'm sure that there are black women and men as well who know how to replace that business. And I'm sure you guys know the conversation, the ongoing dialogue about the fact that so much wealth is taken from our community by people that set up shop and do a money grab in the black community, and then they just take that money back to their own communities. They don't have any stake in the community other than coming there to suck the community dry, to get money out of the black community and give nothing back. They're not advocating for the community. They're not supporting anything in the community. They're not investing in anything in the community. They're not doing anything to make the community better. They don't care about the community. Some black man can get shot right in front of their building. They don't give a damn. And I think that is something that has to be addressed. is something that has to be dealt with, right? So I just want to commend Tyrone personally. I don't know the brother. Y'all know I have a lot of respect, and I'm connected with a lot of brothers in the nation, and I just think that what he did was remarkable. I like the fact that he just handled his business. He handled his business, and he got the owner's attention. He got the attention of the women in the salon. He got the nation's attention, and he deserves all of that because he's what you call a black leader. He's what you call a black man who is invoking change. Whether this owner stays in business or not, he probably won't continue to do what he's been doing before, because there's a difference in the way people respond to your community when you have masculine men in the community and versus when you have a bunch of wimpy ass children, little boys, and men who want to be little girls in the community. When you have feminized, weak men, they don't respond to you, they don't respect you in a certain way. So Tyrone earned some respect. Now Jay says, what's sad is the next day that salon was jam-packed with even more black women. Yeah, it's not always gonna, sometimes you can try to help people that don't want to be helped, or save people that don't want to be saved. Maybe that was the case. But I think that what he did was he also set a precedent. I think that he set a standard. It's almost like when Robert Smith gave however many $40 million to pay the student loans of all the students at Morehouse. He set a standard. Like, you can't go speak at Morehouse and just do the okie doke no more. Like you're going to be compared to him now. So I personally think that he set a standard, and I think it's wonderful. I think if you know this brother, some of y'all from Chicago, if you know this brother, reach out to me, and my email is manager@boycewatkins.com. I'd love to interview Tyrone. You can also, if you go to theblackbusinessschool.com, actually, you can not just talk to our people there at theblackbusinessschool.com, but just tell one of the enrollment specialists that you're trying to connect me and Tyrone Muhammad, because I would love to have that brother on this channel, because these are the types of guys that really need and deserve to have a platform. It's easy to have people out here just talking, but nobody's really, a lot of people aren't really into actually building or doing or getting things done. And that's the thing that I just really like about it. I'm not saying everybody should go throw a brick through a window. I'm not saying that you might have a different approach that works for you. But, I like action. I really like action, because I go around the world, and I meet all kinds of people that do a whole lot of talking, telling me what they're going to do, what they thought about doing, what they plan to do, and what they're starting to do. I don't meet a lot of people who tell me what they did and show me something that has been done, has been completed, is serious, is real. I think a part of the reason that some of the women in the store didn't react when he said, I'm about to put a brick through this window, is I believe they didn't believe him. I think they didn't believe him because there's a lot of men out here that just talk. Yeah, baby, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna go buy a bike for the 9-year-old, and I'm gonna go get bring home some money. I'm gonna do this and do that, and then they don't follow through. And so I think that there's a reason why a lot of women, when a man makes a promise to a woman, a lot of women are like, for real? Like, you playing, whatever. Ain't nobody taking you seriously. And I think that, we need to support and promote the serious men in the community, because you got a lot of jokers out here. And if you're a joker, ain't nobody going, you can't be Superman or Batman if everybody thinks you're the fucking Joker. But you got all these black men out here, making money, telling jokes. We got an oversupply of fucking comedians and entertainers, and comedians, entertainers, and singers and dancers, and guys want to play sports and throw a ball in front of white people. Like, it's like, these are jokers. Like, they're not all bad people. I'm not making fun of all of them, but I'm just saying, like, we can't have all the black men trying to be clowns. Like, we need black men that are going to be serious. So anyway, hit the thumbs up button, by the way. Please hit the thumbs up button. Shout out your city, by the way. I see Fort Lauderdale for Peter. I'm trying to look at some of your comments. I'm driving, so I don't want to be too sloppy here. And the next day, the nail shop was, okay, somebody said, he should have never done that. Those same sisters that went in right after he got arrested. That's true, but, that don't mean you don't do the right thing. You can't blanket condemn all black women and say all black women don't care, all black women are disrespectful. And I'm sure there was some sister whose consciousness he raised with his actions. There's no way you can ignore a brick through the window. Like if somebody put a brick through the window, somebody's gonna be like, why did you put that brick through the window? And then there's gonna be some black women out here that do appreciate, having their honor defended. I don't care what you say. I mean, let's not get caught up in like, oh, well, all these sisters, they don't really care. They just want to da 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 da. That's how weak ass black men defend weak ass behavior. Is they say, well, these bitches don't want to be treated right. These hoes don't want to be treated respectfully. Like it's like, come on, man, give me a break. Like I'm not dissing you or anything. I'm just saying, like, straight up, like, let's stop doing that. Like let's stop acting like black women don't want to be defended. Every woman wants to be defended on some level. Maybe some women are too bitter, or maybe some women are not right, maybe some women ain't queens, but that does not explain why you choose to behave a specific way. You do not choose weak ass behavior just because you bumped into a couple of weak ass women. Like that's just I don't, I've dealt with trifling women before. I've dealt with women who did things that I thought were tacky and disrespectful. But let me just say this, that did not cause me to become less of a man. It didn't. I'm telling you, I've dealt with women that just like damn near spit in my face and got real crazy and disrespectful, but you didn't see me acting like a bitch just because she chose to be a bitch. Like that's not gonna happen. You're not gonna see that from me. And I show that publicly as well. You guys have seen women that got mad at me because of some YouTube bullshit, and we're all on there screaming, Boyce is this and Boyce ain't that and Boyce ain't shit and fuck Boyce and I hate Boyce, blah blah blah. And I always be like, okay, all right. I'm sorry you feel that way. I wish you the very best. And that's it. That's because how I choose to conduct myself is not going to be affected by your behavior. It's just not. You're not going to see me out here screaming with rollers in my hair and acting like a little girl. I'm just not going to do that. So anyway, let me look at some more of your comments. I'm in a little bit of traffic, so I'm driving super slow down. This ain't cool. I need to get my ass to the airport. Well, please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button, and don't forget the All Black National Convention's coming up the weekend of September 27th in Houston. You can learn more at allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. Let me see here. Probably took Harriet Tubman a few tries to get folks on board. I agree. I mean, shit, Harriet Tubman was dealing with some real slaves. Y'all dealing with some slave-minded people. Harriet Tubman dealt with real slaves. And Harriet still, she didn't say, well, I would have kept, I wanted to free black people, but these niggas don't want to be freed. And she did say that thing about, I would have freed 1,000 more if they'd known that they were slaves. But there were a lot of people she did free, and she, encouraged them to get some self-esteem, and some of them she had to shoot. We know that, right? But still, at the same time, it's like you don't let anybody else's behavior affect who you are, affect your integrity, or affect your actions. Let me see here. On the next video about investing, can we talk about the Forex market? We're actually going to implement a Forex class in the Black Business School. So I don't teach Forex. I can't do like a whole lesson on YouTube like that. I mean, we have a school where we got teachers and instructors that teach a lot of stuff. So go to theblackbusinessschool.com. You can actually get started for free. And we do lectures every week on all different aspects of investing. So go check that out, theblackbusinessschool.com. Let's see here. The point is, he did what he had to do, like what is required of a real man. A revolution doesn't come overnight. Absolutely. Yeah, I think Tyrone deserves attention and respect and that's why I'm giving that to him right now, because I was like, I really want to do my job and support this brother. I don't know his situation, but if there's like bail money attached, like I'll help raise some bail money, and I'll be the first one to write a check. I don't know if there's any situation he's worth. Like this, like people like that, you want to keep them active. You want to support them. You want them to be successful. So if I can help you, Tyrone, just let me know, man. I'll be glad to support you. The point is, he did what okay, let me see here. Good morning, intelligent black people. Hey, Ebo, what's going on? Can't help those who don't want to be helped. That is true. That is true. That is true. But there's a lot of black women who do want help from black men. But Chicago is kind of a sick. It's a wonderful city, but it's also got some mental illness in our community. You have a lot of, like, I've never seen so many like 15, 16-year-old moms, in Chicago. I don't think the public school system is very good. I feel like there's just a lot of chaos that results, like all the gangbang and everything. Like a lot of it is connected to fatherlessness. That's why I really kind of hate the Democratic Party and their policies, especially that relate to, you know, whether it's feminism or LGBT ideologies that minimize the importance of having a masculine male in the home. I don't think that, I think it's kind of insane that they got y'all out here thinking y'all don't need fathers in the community, because fathers are very important. You know, I saw Tyrone. You know, Tyrone came off to me. I mean, Tyrone just, you know, he looked like a black Superman. He's a tall, strong brother, intelligent, respectful. You know, he's got the square jaw. You know, he's a man. You know, like, and if we had 10,000 men like that in the community, who just were like, no, like, I'm gonna do what needs to be done. Like, this ain't right. This is gonna get dealt with right now. You know, if you had 10,000 men like that in the city of Chicago, gang violence would drop by 80%. Like, you know, you would see poverty rates drop by 80%. You would see educational outcomes improve by 80%. Like, you would see the children in a better position, because children respond to the structure of a strong man. Like, children respond to that. Like, give me a yes or no if you agree with what I'm saying. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, do you agree that the structure of a strong male in the home makes a difference for, you know, for children? Like, if you don't agree, if you don't understand this, then that probably means you've been brainwashed. Because the same way, you know, mothers are very important, fathers are very important. I can't understand how anybody can pretend like fathers don't matter, but you still believe mothers matter, right? Like, without our mothers, we would be nothing. Like, imagine your life without your mother. Imagine what kind of person you'd be if you had no mom. You know, think about that. You know, I want you to process that for a moment with me. And then as you process that, you know, a lot of y'all probably be crazy, like acting like animals and shit. You know, you probably hate women. You know, a lot of y'all men would have a hard time dating, because you would have a hard time trusting women, because you would feel like they were all, you know, trifling like your mama was when she left, right? You wouldn't be nurtured, and we have a whole lot more serial killers in the black community. Like, seriously, like you know, they do those shows about serial killers and shit, and they talk about how they weren't hugged enough and all this other bullshit. Like I mean, that stuff is real. Like, without a mother, you would be a really, really disrupted human being. You would not be a good person right now. And you know, and so you know, we got to understand, like, that's exactly what's happening. Just the opposite of that, the male version of that, is occurring when you've got missing fathers. All the things that fathers provide to the table, like knowing that you're safe and protected, that's gone. You know, knowing that knowing that a man can love you without wanting to have sex with you, that's gone. Understanding just how to deal with a man so you can have a healthy relationship with a man, that's gone. The ability to trust a man, that's gone. Right? Have the ability to be provided for, and to feel safe and comfortable, you know, in terms of being provided for, that's gone. Right? The guidance that fathers provide, that's gone. The strength that fathers provide, that's gone. You know, having the boys having a man to look up to, and to you know, explain to him, no, son, this is what you're supposed to do. Yes, son, this is how you're supposed to carry yourself. Son, why didn't you do your homework? Like fathers not providing that for their sons is almost like building a tent without a tent pole. Like, you can't, you know, you need a structure. You need something that's going to, you know, elevate your tent, that's going to, you know, sort of force you to operate at a certain level. You know, like my father, I just think about what my father gave to me. My father really gave me a lot of what you guys see on a daily basis. Like, part of the reason I'm not afraid of anything or anybody that, you know, people that say negative things or act a fool or whatever, is because my father gave me a lot of mental toughness. You know, I saw my father this week, and you know, he's in his 60s now, but he's still a man, you know, and we talk about stuff, and he talks about, you know, going to Vietnam and coming back, and just knowing like what it was like, you know, being 18 years old and having them throw your stuff out of an airplane, and you had to jump out of the plane and get your stuff because the plane couldn't even stop like they wouldn't even stop the plane to let the soldiers off. The plane had to keep moving so they could get out of the combat zone. And he said sleeping in that bunker that night, you know, and hearing the shells going off in the background, he said he said at that moment, I swore to myself, no matter what it takes, I'm gonna get back home. Like, no matter what, you know, no matter what I gotta do, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I gotta do to get the fuck out of here and to get my ass back home, right? And he did. He got back home, you know, because he had a survival instinct. You know, there was no excuses, right? You know, and the thing is, like, when I hear him talk about these things, it teaches me about life. It reminds me, like, I don't have any real problems. Like, somebody talking shit about you on the internet, that's not a real problem. Or, or the things that we deal with, those are not real problems. Life or death, those are real problems, right? And so ultimately, what I got from my father is just this kind of like, like a fearlessness. Like, I don't care. Like, you can't intimidate me. Like, you're not going to, like, whatever. Like, you might be a thug. Well, I don't give a fuck. You might want to act like you gangster and tough or whatever. Well, okay, whatever. I've seen that before, or whatever, So I think that ultimately fathers are just so important, man. And I feel bad for those who don't have fathers. And I feel bad for children who grow up with mothers who have convinced them that fathers are not necessary, because you're passing down a generational curse. And in my opinion, if you don't take the time to figure out how to keep the family together, then maybe you should think twice before you have children. People just, shitting babies out everywhere and ain't got no plan to take care of them. Damn kids growing up all fucked up and dysfunctional because their parents don't think it through or whatever, because you had sex with somebody because she had a big booty or whatever, and you ain't taking care of your kids. Like, I can't respect that, I mean, you can't control everything now. I mean, sometimes we all make mistakes. We end up with somebody we shouldn't have been with or whatever, but you got to at least try. You got to at least try. You got to know what it means to be committed to achieving a goal. Like when I think about getting married next year, my perception of commitment, loyalty, and trust goes far deeper than I think a lot of people do. Like, my loyalty to Alicia is not, I'm gonna be loyal to you until you upset me, or until I feel like, you're being mean to me, or until I feel unhappy. Like, loyalty means like, no, we're gonna figure this thing out. We're just gonna do it. Like, just do it. Like, and I think that that's what you get. Like, when I'm talking to you guys, I notice when I go around the country, a lot of the people that follow me on this platform tend to be soldiers. There's a lot of soldiers in this space, and I couldn't understand. I was like, why are so many soldiers? So many people are in the military. And I believe that part of the reason that soldiers tend to gravitate toward this space is because soldiers, first of all, if you are a soldier, thank you for your service. But soldiers tend to, understand an environment that's no nonsense. Let's get the job done. Let's not make any excuses or whatever. And that's not something you really have in the black community, especially among the men. In the black community, you have a lot of bitch-ass excuses, especially from men and women too, on why we didn't get certain things done, or why the women not as much as the men, though, because the women had strong role models in the household. Most women, like, while 76% of all the black boys didn't have a father, the vast majority of the black women had a mother. I'd say 98%, 97% or whatever of the black women had a mother, right? So the mother is a role model for the daughter. And so she kind of teaches her little things like, stop making excuses. Like, yeah, I know you're on your period, but you still got to get up and do your work today. Well, girl, don't nobody want to hear that. Why did you do that, right? It's a very stern kind of space for a lot of young black women, whereas a lot of the same women that will push their daughters to get things done with no excuses will for some reason spoil the shit out of their sons. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that, where it's like we love our sons and raise our daughters, right? Like, your daughter is learning really the strength of being a strong woman, and the son is just sitting there fucking in his drawers smoking weed, playing Xbox every day, and ain't doing nothing. And it's kind of like, and I never understood where that came from. Like, where did this come from, where the women are kind of sort of marching along like soldiers, and the men are just, so many of the men are just sitting around doing nothing, and the women enable this. There are a lot of women, I've seen a lot of women enable. I've seen mothers raise the strongest daughters in the world and raise the weakest sons in the world. It's very weird. And I think that that's why you need a father, because the father is the one who says, no, boy, get your ass up. No, I know, Mabel, look, I know you want to make excuses for him, but he keeps saying that there's a reason why he got fired from this job and that job. No, the reason the boy keeps getting fired is because he ain't showing up to work on time. Get your ass up. Like that's what a father does. And I think about my own household, and I believe my mother would have probably spoiled me if my father hadn't been there. I think my mother would have, accepted my excuses. I probably could have went and lived with my, lived with my mama till I was 40. I could have went and sat around and did nothing, whatever. And then whenever she asked me to go get a job or whatever, I could be like, well, Mom, it's hard out here for a black man. I mean, I done went to jail twice and I got a criminal record now and I can't get a job. It's too hard out here, I can't pay the child support. Like, someone needs you to cover that for me, Mama. Like, I don't know if y'all know any mamas that like do interesting things like pay child support for their son, or like babysit the hell out of the kids, like literally to the point where the man keeps making babies because his mama is a built-in babysitter for all the children that he's like littering around the city. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever seen that, but remember, these are dysfunctional behaviors. Like, these are behaviors that you get when your ecosystem has been disrupted, and the ecosystem has been disrupted by mass incarceration. The ecosystem's been disrupted by all these policies that have been put in place. But remember, the part of the reason why the ecosystem is even able to disrupt us is because we choose to depend on that ecosystem to get what we need. You complain about what white people do to you, but first thing you do when your child gets to a certain age is you send them to be educated by a white person. You complain about the way you're portrayed in white media, but the first thing we do is give billions of dollars every year to white-owned media. You complain about the way Asian and white business owners treat you, but the first thing you do is you give your money to a white business. You complain about discrimination on the job, but first thing you do is you go work for a white person, right? So I think that at the end of the day, like, it doesn't mean that you can't. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be affected by these systems, and it doesn't mean that it's your fault, but it does mean that we have to shift our thinking. I understand systems very well. Like, I'm a mathematician, right? My master's degree is in math. So when you sort of think about things in that way, mathematics and statistics, you think about systems a lot, and you think about what is called correlation. Correlation is a connector, things that connect things, right? So I remember in graduate school, I remember sitting around reading books about systems and processes and how one thing affects another, how A affects B, which affects C, which affects D. And then I realized, wait, so if A affects B, which affects C, then it's the best way to liberate B from the effect that A is going to have on it is to remove B from the process and put B into a different system. So basically my point is that black behavior is often heavily affected by white choices and white policies. So the best way to not have your behavior and your ecosystem disrupted by the choices of white people is to get away from systems that are run by individuals who don't like you. So that means that if I had a child right now today, this is something that took me time to get to this point, but I would do this by any means necessary. If I had a child today, I would not send my child to be educated by white people. I would homeschool my child, because you got the internet. The internet, you can learn anything you want to learn on the internet. Anything you want to learn is right there on YouTube. Do you know how much I've learned about everything from chemistry, biochemistry to intergalactic? I watched a whole documentary the other day on black holes. So I know everything about all the different types of black holes and how they're formed, and supermassive black holes, and how every galaxy has a massive black hole in the middle of it. Like it's all out there, man. Like, you don't need to send your kids to these raggedy ass schools to learn. And they're not even learning. They're not even getting the basic skills that they need. Most black boys can't even pass a basic math exam. They are deliberately making your men stupid and weak. Only thing worse than a weak motherfucker is a dumb weak motherfucker. If you're dumb and weak, then you can't do anything. You can't defend your people. You can't back up your woman. You can't take care of your kids. You can't go handle your business because you don't even know how to strategize. You can't even, black men got to play 3D chess. And a lot of our kids are raised to a point where they don't even teach them how to play checkers. And that's not their fault. Why would I, if I'm all into this white supremacy thing, why would I ever want black boys to learn the strategies necessary to tear down, the house of the master? Like, why would I ever want them to give them the tools to break away from their oppression anyway? I don't want a bunch of brilliant ass Einstein level black men running the streets who are 6'5", 250 pounds with fearlessness in their heart and commitment in their soul and intelligence in their mind. Like, I don't want that. I want a bunch of lazy, dumbass, distracted drug addicts who want to get high and drunk, who walk into, who go outside like, where the pussy at, man? Where the liquor at, nigga? Like I want them like consuming media from rappers that will encourage them to be stupid. I want them to, to basically be exposed to a ton of media that reminds them of the importance of being as gay as possible. I want them to be feminized. I want them to be weak, and I want them to be incapable of taking care of themselves. I want them to have jobs. I don't want them to have businesses, because business owners, black male business owners, usually have a type of swag about them. When a black man owns a business, I've seen this happen in children. We have children that learn in the black business school. When a black man owns a business, he ain't the same. He ain't a punk no more. He ain't gonna let you tell him what to do anymore. I don't know if anybody else has gone through this or seen this, but when somebody creates a business of their own and they pay their own damn bills, like, they'll talk a lot of shit. Like, they're not scared of you. And I think that that's why they want you seeking jobs and not seeking capital. Seriously, that's just the reality. That's why they want you dependent. That's why they want you weak. They want you, on their system, sucking on their titties, and basically begging them to take care of you, so they get to feel like the fucking hero, and you are always under their control. So at the end of the day, let me just end it by saying that, Tyrone Muhammad, if you're watching, brother, I respect you. I commend you. I will do things for you, man. Whatever you need, man, you just hit me up. In fact, just go to theblackbusinessschool.com, theblackbusinessschool.com. If you talk to one of the enrollment specialists, like, they'll be right there. They'll answer. Just tell them you want to get in touch with me, Tyrone. And I'm going to bring you on my podcast if you want to come on, because I'd love to support your cause, man, because I think what you did was great. It was brave. It was something we need, and I want to do everything I can to convince other people to take notice. So I'm about to go, guys. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button before you go. Also, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I go live. Hit that notification bell. If you don't hit that bell, you won't be notified every time. So please hit the notification bell. And don't forget, the All Black National Convention happens the weekend of September 27th. That's allblacknationalconvention.com, allblacknationalconvention.com. Then I'll be in New York for a day-long investing seminar. That's drboycenewyork.com. We're actually going to have a pitch competition at the New York event. So if you have a business you want to do an elevator pitch for the audience, because there'll be a lot of people there that like to invest, that actually have money that they want to put into businesses. So if you want to come there and do an elevator pitch for the audience, you could do that. So that's drboycenewyork.com. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.